Good morning. Hello, everybody. Hi. SSJ, thank you so much for your 35 stream streak. I appreciate it. Basement, we're on Rumble. There's no evil, darling. How are we doing? Hello, Don. Look at that 80 stream streak. Hey, Deadwalk. I believe that one is, I don't know. I have two chats up for Rumble. One is my ReAnimateHer and the other one is Coffee Chat of Horrors channel. So I'm trying to figure out which one is which. Anyways, hello, good morning. SSJ, thank you so much for your 35 stream streak as well. I appreciate you guys streaking through the chat. 80 and 35. Thank you so very much. I don't know why I don't have sound. Oh, I do have sound on this bitch. All right. How are we doing? Hello, Deadwalk, Golden Plushie, Slipknot fan, Speedy. How are we doing? How are we? Chris, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for some of you. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Hello, Shield PR Gaming. Welcome. Yes, Coffee Chat of Horrors is my podcast that I do. I deep dive into our favorite scary movies and directors. So I compile research that I have found between my books, movies, and the interwebs, and I compile all the information about the subject matter at hand. Today, we're deep diving Rob Zombie. So we're going to talk about Rob Zombie as a creative, as a director, because he has broken some boundaries and brought some stuff to the front of horror. Sometimes we do horror movie deep dives where I bring you behind the scenes and I talk about how the movies were made, how they were inspired, special effects, everything you can possibly think of about horror and how you can understand some of the movies better. Sometimes there's movies that we watch and we're a little unsure, what the hell did we just watch? A little deep dive into it and it could help. How you doing? Let me double check evil for YouTube. Give me a second because we do know that YouTube has an issue with Lumia and it doesn't start. Try your evil now if you're watching on YouTube. We do simulcast our Coffee Chat of Horrors on Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble, and I'm not live on them. I'm just live on Twitch. But yeah, okay. I was like, wait, I don't remember her having this name. I like the horror makeup show at Universal, just not as deep dives as yours. Yes, we're also live on my ReAnimateHer channel as well. I wasn't sure how to do that since I'm quite noobish, to be honest with you, Shield. I don't know what I'm doing right or correct, but this is my Coffee Chat of Horrors channel. Oh, hi, Chris. How are you? So we're going to wait till everybody shambles in for about 10 minutes or so, and then we're going to dive into our CCOH program. If this is your first time here for CCOH, you are part of the conversation. You're not just here listening to me mumbo jumbo about things. You are actually going to be a part of the conversation. And I think it's important for audience participation because this is how we learn together, and if you may know something more than I may have missed as well, so it's always great to discuss and have all of that going on. I am trying to get my other channel, my CCOH channel up, but how is everybody? Last night in the Discord we watched one of my favorite Rob Zombie films, and that is House of a Thousand Corpse. House of a Thousand Corpse is a great movie. Great movie. Hello, Kaneki. How are you? How are we doing? Yes. So hopefully everyone's having a great weekend. Hopefully it's not too cold by you guys. It's a little cold by me today. Not too bad because it's warming up. It's -1 degree Celsius. And if you're wondering, Coffee Chat of Horrors is the only live horror deep dive show on the internet. Nobody does what I do anywhere in the 8 seasons that we have been here. You enjoy your lurk. Have a great supper, Arthur. I know in the UK it's probably supper time for you guys at 11 o'clock in the morning here in Alberta, Canada. I am an evil cat that lurks in the basement. Right? And you'll see today that you guys are gonna find out some information I didn't even know unless you were a really huge zombie fan. I did scour the internet for interviews. I have watched a couple of things on it, so Arthur, look at your 15 stream streak. Thank you so very much. I saw in the cinema at early screening. Nice. You saw that House of a Thousand Corpses. It's a great movie, Slipknot. I'm gonna actually deep dive it here in a couple of weeks. We're going to finish off our director deep dives with John Carpenter. So 2 Sundays from now, we'll do John Carpenter. Next Sunday is going to be George A. Romero. After that, we're going to start deep diving our movies. And House of a Thousand Corpses is going to be my first deep dive of season 8 of Coffee Chat of Horrors. We've been doing a lot of directors because I think it's important to understand where the creativity comes from when we discuss horror movies, because it's not just the movie, it's the people behind that movie. It's the writers, it's the directors, it's the cinematographers, it's the videographers, it's the actors. Everything, without one of those going off smoothly, the whole production is shit, right? So I think it's great to learn about a little bit of everything when it comes to our favorite movies. So the directors, I'm hoping I'm opening your eyes up more to why these directors have gone this route and they didn't go to, like, you know, romantic comedies or romantic movies and dramas. So I'm pretty excited to bring that stuff to you guys. All right. I think everyone is shambled in. And as they keep on shambling in, we'll just remind everybody that it's CCOH. All sounds are off for CCOH, by the way. So do not use your channel points if you're watching me over on Twitch. Do not use your channel points because they are not going to work if they make a sound. If they're quiet ones, you can use them. If you have any questions about CCOH, please feel free to ask questions, because that's what this whole thing is about. You learning, education. I'm so hyped for the Romero edition of Coffee Chat of Horrors. Yeah, I love that one. I'm going to assume Deadwalk and Shield, you are watching me on the CCOH channel, I think. Nanita, good morning. How are you? Happy birthday. Is it Chat Andrews? Oh, well, happy birthday, Andrew. Happy birthday. Is that your brother? How are you doing, Anita? All right, let's dive into Coffee Chat of Horrors. We do have a short disclaimer because this bitch ain't being responsible for anything. Oh, you're on the main channel. Okay. Which is weird because no one's chat is coming up in the main channel. You're coming up in the other. It's so weird. I don't know how any of this stuff works. No idea how any of this stuff works. So it's kind of weird. But yes, I'm getting there. Also, Twitch has a promotion going on right now. 1 sub equals 3 bonus months of Discord Nitro. I know some of you use Discord Nitro. I figured I'd let you know about the sub thing. If you gift a sub or sub, you can get 3 months of Discord Nitro. And if you already have Discord Nitro, it would add onto it, so it would extend it by 3 months for a sub. That is only on Twitch, guys. That is only on Twitch. Okay, it don't matter, Deadwalk. We're gonna figure it out together. We'll figure it out together. Good morning, Aaron. How are you? Nope, the disclaimer hasn't been done yet. Here we go.
Like scary movies and coffee.
The following show is based on research on horror movies and what goes on behind the scenes of your favorite scary movies. Horde Entertainment or ReAnimateHer is not responsible for the macabre and horror that you are about to witness. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello. Grab your mugs, my creepies, and welcome back to another chilling episode of Coffee Chat of Horrors, your cozy corner for deep dives into the twisted world of horror history and the creators who shape it. Today, we're stepping into a fever dream that is Rob Zombie, his life and legacy, musician, filmmaker, monster lover, and certified chaos gremlin of horror culture. So welcome, guys, to Coffee Chat of Horrors. I am drinking today tea. Again, I like my coffee, but today it felt like a tea day. It's like -1 Celsius out there, and I kind of figured my English breakfast tea. This is my English breakfast tea. It's by Tetley. It's one of my favorite tea makers. This is a black tea. Just wanted to show it to you guys so you know. I am not sponsored by Tetley. I'm just telling you guys what I actually bring to the table today. I'm on the main channel, but can move over to CCOH. No, you're good, Basement. I'm going live on both so I can build up the following on the CCOH channel, because that's what I want to eventually go live off of, right? So in today's episode of Coffee Chat of Horrors, we are going to be unraveling his carnival childhood. Yeah, you heard me right. Carnival childhood. The rise and fall of White Zombie, his film evolution, the controversies, and his surprising influences. Plus, I'll give you 20 plus rare facts that you may not know about Rob Zombie, and how his love for classic monsters shaped everything he ever made. And so let's get into it. Right, Deadwalk? They should sponsor. Born January 12th, 1965 in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Rob Zombie's real name is Robert Bartley Cummings. He does have a brother named Michael David Cummings, who is the frontman for Power Man 5000. His parents worked at carnival attractions, which is kind of crazy to know that his parents, and you can kind of see in that whimsical carnival dark style, his creativity when it came to music videos, as well as his movies. There's a theme with Rob Zombie and his films and his upbringing. You know what I mean? Having both parents work in a carnival. Yeah. He is in his 60s. Tetley tea is definitely delicious. You're going to make some tea now? Nice, Basement. Cheers. What is everybody drinking today? As you know, I'm drinking Tetley English breakfast. It's delicious. It's one of my favorite black teas. Yeah, Rob Zombie videos and films do have that dark, crazy carnival hell vibe. Exactly. And you may wonder why he has that crazy carnival hell ride type of feel to it. It's because he was born and raised in a carnival. Yeah, seriously, both parents worked at a carnival, and he actually was able to join in and scare people through the haunted houses that they have. So I think that's kind of cool in that aspect. So you can kind of see where some of his influence came into the picture, especially having to live that kind of lifestyle for how many years. His parents worked there up until there was a riot. And then there was a riot. So Rob Zombie was a witness to fights, guns, fires, and general carny mayhem. His parents decided that this wasn't a life for Zombie or them when the riot broke out. There was shooting, there was burning of the tents. It was a pretty big, crazy outpour of violence. So his parents decided to move on and move forward from the carnival lifestyle, which you can definitely see that in House of a Thousand Corpses. Captain Spaulding, you have to think and remember, how did he come up with this crazy clown mofo? You know what I mean? Which was quite interesting, to say the least. And like I said, we watched House of a Thousand Corpses yesterday in the Discord, and I appreciate that movie. The more I watch it, the more I see it, I really respect it even more. I was at the Warp Tour in SoCal years ago, and Tony Alva was there. People thought he was Rob Zombie. Interesting. It does explain quite a few things, especially his music videos, right? Yeah. What kind of horror creator would you become if you grew up in a literal carnival of chaos? Like, you think about it, what would you become if that was your childhood and your most formidable years of your childhood, right? Not just being a teenager, but the time of conception to being a youth to actually work there. Hey, Hefty, how are you? Sid Haig was brilliant as Captain Spaulding. He really was. Hefty Z, a lot of the commands do not work today because we're doing Coffee Chat of Horrors. So if you're just joining us, this is my live horror talk show. It's a deep dive into Rob Zombie today. So for the most part, you guys won't hear any of the sounds that we have in the stream. You can play with the channel points, some of them, like the CRT and scroll, that might actually work for you guys. But yeah, may he rest in peace, Sid Haig. He passed away during the filming of 3 from Hell. Good question. Good work experience. Learning how to run a business. Carnival life. Hey, Hilltop. Hello, Nicholas. How are you? You're a giant Rob Zombie? Yeah, Rob Zombie's great. I think he's brilliant. I mean, not everyone loves his movies, especially when he came out with the Halloween chapters 1 and 2. However, I really liked his House of a Thousand Corpse trilogy. Now, growing up, Zombie was obsessed with the Addams Family and the Munsters, the OG shows. He was born in 60s, so you got to remember he has been watching the original shows. Hello, Level Flight. How are you? If you're not following my Coffee Chat of Horrors channel, please make sure to do so. Hit the follow button if you like it. Don't forget to repost and shout it out to the masses. I don't understand why they made 3 from Hell. It was just fine with the first 2. 3 from Hell had such an unnecessary sword fight. I would have to agree with you, Hefty Z. You know, I think he wanted to keep the trilogy going, but just in a trilogy to expand on the Firefly family. And I think 2 ended the way it needed to, because I watched again House of a Thousand Corpse last night, and then right afterwards I watched Devil's Rejects, and both movies are different in visuals. I think House of a Thousand Corpse is the better made film, and for me it goes House of a Thousand Corpse, Devil's Rejects, and then 3 from Hell. I think 3 from Hell kind of fell short. I also think that the passing of a really good friend who was also main star of the movie also hurt production. Do I think 3 from Hell should have been made? No, we didn't really need a third film. I honestly think 1 and 2 were perfect. I am fabulous, Level. I hope you're having a good Sunday. Like, if they really wanted to do an origin film, maybe it would have been appropriate. Yeah, it could have been. But House of Thousand Corpse would be their origin, right? New Frankenstein movie. Yeah, Hilltop, I seen it. It was great. I know you probably won't see my comment, but I just want to say I've been watching your YouTube videos for a while. Well, Killy, thank you so very much. I appreciate you watching my videos. I will see and read your comment, because you, as someone who wants to support this channel, are very important to me. Those of you that chat in my chat, watch my videos, whether you lurk in the shadows watching or you watch my VODs, I'm super grateful for that. And I will read your comment. And I just want to say I love your videos on YouTube. Well, thank you very much, Killian. Thank you. I appreciate that. Dr. Satan, why introduce a character but not expand? Another good point, Dr. Satan. We know that Mother Firefly told us about the father of Tiny, but Captain Spaulding is the father of Baby. And we see Dr. Satan, but who the fuck is Dr. Satan? You know what I mean? I understand they brought that myth in, and this is how the youth that were traveling to see Dr. Satan was all brought to that. But why did they expand on that later on? I don't know, because they basically left it out. You know what I mean? They basically left it out in 2. House of a Thousand Corpse wasn't really an origin film. It was the first one, but they were really into... Well, yeah, but it kind of gives you their backstory, right? It doesn't really tell you why they got into the murderous side of things. Obviously, mental health, because they weren't cannibals. They were necrophiliacs. They were murderers. They were mentally unhealthy. And it doesn't tell us why they got into it. So I guess you're right. It isn't actually an origin story, but it does give you a base onto what they are like and how it goes into 2. But see, they really left Dr. Satan behind. Hefty Z, welcome to the crypt. Thank you so much for the follow. Tutti fucking fruity. Dr. Satan's such a good guy, family doctor, and loving his parents. Yeah, right? Okay, so let's get back into Rob Zombie himself, because we will at another day talk about the 3 movies of Rob Zombie as well. We'll do a deep dive in House of a Thousand Corpse, and then from there we'll take in the rest of the trilogy. So anyways, Rob Zombie was obsessed with the Addams Family and the Munsters. He wanted to be Alice Cooper, Steven Spielberg, Bela Lugosi, and Stan Lee. These were the people that he looked up to as a young person, growing up in that era where the Addams Family and the Munsters weren't your typical mainstream for every family, because they were a kooky kind of TV series, especially back then, right? We had a small taste of horror with different horror hosts in the 70s. I mean, yes, we did have Vampira. She was earlier in the years in the 50s, 40s and 50s. We did have Svengoolie. There's a lot of horror hosts, Vincent Price, as you get into it. And Alice Cooper did a lot of inspiration in horror. Not only his music, but his music videos and the amount of horror movies he has been in. Hello, Reaper darling. How are you? He was into horror by kindergarten, and how he got into it again was by watching TV series, The Addams Family and The Munsters. Also being in that time, there was really no ratings on TV for children. We didn't get into that until the 80s when they started trying to censor shit for people. He does love his wife, Sherry, 100%, and he puts her into every film. His favorite, he loved monster movies. Like growing up in that time, I was a big monster movie fan as well. My favorite monster is Frankenstein's monster. And Rob Zombie's favorite is the movie Frankenstein. So he does love Frankenstein's monster. That is his favorite movie. What is your guys' favorite monster and monster movie? Hello, Drawing with Edge. How are you? How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in. Hey, Trini. So Golden Plushie, you are a Dracula fan. Bela Lugosi, or which is your favorite type of Dracula? Blackula is great black exploitation film. 100%. We did a deep dive on Blackula. You're doing, oh, that's good. I'm glad you're doing all right, Drong, and thank you. Welcome into the channel. Welcome in. If this is your first time here, we are doing our deep dive into Rob Zombie on Coffee Chat of Horrors. CCOH is my live horror podcast where we deep dive horror movies and we deep dive the creatives who create them. A lot of people don't realize, but the Phantom of the Opera is also one of the classics. Oh, yes, very much so. Very much so. It's part of the Universal Monster chapters. You've got Creature from the Black Lagoon, Phantom of the Opera, Wolfman, Frankenstein's Monster, Dracula, The Invisible Man, right? So you have quite a few that are classic monsters. My favorite classic monster, like I said, I know I'm scrolling big time, is Frankenstein's monster. So I'd love to know more about who your guys' favorite monsters are. OG Monsters was playing on TV in one of the scenes in House of a Thousand Corpses. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. You haven't seen Blackula in years. Bela Lugosi's Dracula from Universal Monsters. Nice. Bram Stoker, personally golden, with Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman's a great vampire, definitely. Hello, 8-Bit. How are you, darling? Hello, Abyss Walker. How are you? All right, so Rob Zombie moved to New York City after high school, and he attended Parsons School of Design. This is where he met Sean Usett, his girlfriend and future bandmate. And this is going back in the day, right? This is when he was starting to figure out what he is and what he wanted to do. He already knew he wanted to be in horror somehow or be a musician somewhere. Nobody in his family were musically inclined. Believe that. He didn't pick up a guitar till much later in life, and his family background didn't have any musical instruments. However, they did have a lot of carnival craziness. But that being said, if I'm picking from anyone ever, I'd have to pick from the character from Hellraiser. Nice. So you mean the Hell Priest or Cenobites? The Hell Priest is a scary mofo, and I think he's one of the most powerful villains in horror villain history. I don't believe any other villain can beat him at all. Anyways, now Rob Zombie formed the band White Zombie with his girlfriend and bandmate Sean Usett. Now, White Zombie is named after Bela Lugosi film called White Zombie. Remember, I said he was a huge classic monster fan, and a lot of his work, earlier work, is based off of the movies that he grew up watching, as well as the TV shows. His key albums for White Zombie was Soul Crusher, which came out in 87, Make Them Die Slowly in 89, La Sexisto broke over 2 million copies sold, and Astro Keep 2000 was the most successful. The band White Zombie disbanded in 1998. Out of all of Zombie's music, do you guys have a favorite song or a favorite album of Zombie? One of my favorites is Dragula. And I mean, that is a mainstream song that was played on everything back in the day. And the other one is Living Dead Girl. He's got a lot of great songs. I like the Nosferatu song. I'm not going to say the other word on it because we're on YouTube. Dragula is what got me into Rob Zombie. Nice. I'd have to say Soul Crusher was probably my introduction. Indeed. Yes, right? I need to see that. I haven't seen that film yet. Your new favorite horror protagonist is Indy the dog from Good Boy. I haven't seen it yet. Hi, Rise. How are you? No worries, dude. Thank you for popping in the chat. I appreciate it. Now, before he became a director, so we found out that he became a musician. Okay? He went down that trail. And then before directing, he got into the production scene. Did you guys know that he was the production assistant on Pee-wee's Playhouse? Who remembers watching Pee-wee's Playhouse religiously? I do. I watched the shit out of Pee-wee's Playhouse as a kid because it was on all the time. Yeah, he was the production assistant on Pee-wee's Playhouse. And we do have an ad that is going to start over on Twitch, so we're just going to hang out for a second. Why that ad does play, because it's just gonna delay it, so we might as well just let that bitch rock and roll, and then I can. Ooh, it's Friday, bitches. I hear everyone's sounds go off. I know you guys don't hear it. I still hear everybody's sounds go off. Pee-wee Playhouse was my upbringing. Yeah, a lot of us did. A lot of us did, man. Like that was a thing for us. If you grew up in the 90s, that was a thing. Even in the 80s, you know. How you doing, Speedy? Now, for the time, Rob Zombie worked as an art director as well for pornographic magazines like, what is it called? Over 40 and Tail's End. So he did do some production stuff. Squirrel time? Sweet. All right, guys, we are hanging out. We are also broadcasting this stream everywhere. So the only platform that has ads is Twitch. So we do wait during our coffee chat of horror time. So I apologize for derailing the conversation, but Twitch has ads. And if you're not subscribed to my channel on Twitch, you get about 2 minutes of ads, and we don't want you to miss any of our information. But I will remind you that Twitch does have a promotion going on right now. Sub or gift a sub, you get three bonus months of Discord Nitro. But yeah, knowing that he worked as an art director for pornographic magazines is insane. Thank you very much, Deadwalk. Thank you. I'm doing good drawing with Edge. I'm pretty good. I can't complain. Yeah, I don't like the way that does. What? Speedy? Speedy. Oh my goodness gracious. Speedy, thank you so very much for the 2020 community gifted subs. Mwah, thank you. Speedy, there should be a 35% off too with that, I think. Oh no, that's coming soon. I think that's next week. Like, he's not the only one with that overlap. No, there are tons. So Hefty, being new to this channel, I have deep dived a fuck ton of directors. If you want to check out any of my VODs, if you do like horror movie deep dives, I have an entire playlist over on YouTube that welcome back from that ad. And I do have a giant playlist of over 91 videos on Coffee Chat of Horrors. He is not the only director, and he's not the only director that I have deep dived either. We have spoke about Wes Craven. We have spoke about deep dived into Dario Argento, Mario Bava, Pier Paolo Pasolini, tons and tons of directors we have deep dived, as well as numerous international horror films. I try not to do too many mainstream horror movies because everybody and their mother does mainstream horror movies on YouTube. So I'd rather bring underrated films and not so known films plus international films, because there's a ton of international horror movies out there that are friggin' amazing. Hello, Vanessa. How are you? Good day. Welcome in. Hey, Reaper, how are you? Just popping over to say hi. Yeah, I appreciate that, Basement. Thank you. Oh, I just meant to mention that it's a weird correlation between porn and horror, not derail. Oh, you're good. You're good. I always get fucking derailed. Ask anybody in the chat. I always get derailed. But Hefty, while you're here, I have what I call a coffin. Hello, Wickedy. How you doing, darling? See there, sexy beast. What's your favorite horror comic? Oh God, I have quite a few drawing. Dexter. I love Elvira and Vampira. Seven. I came here to shit on your video. On my table. Thank you. Thank you, Seven. I appreciate you. Speedy. Hello. Wickedy. How are you? I squirrel all the time. I just squirrel all the time. Anyways, this is my sub coffin, and since you're a new sub here, your name is going to go on the sub coffin. It never comes off. You don't have to renew your sub in 30 days if you don't want to. I know it's a luxury for a lot of people to subscribe to content, but I do appreciate it. Your name never comes off of this sub coffin. It's here forever and ever, and we have like 8 of these fucking things from all the years that I have been streaming. So let's get your name on here. Adventure into Fear was a great old Marvel. Nice. Have you ever watched Nightmare Before Christmas? Oh, hell yeah, I have. I mean, I think you'd have to be living under a rock if you didn't. Do you know what I mean? Hefty Z. So if you are a new subscriber over on Twitch because the Speedy Misha being so friggin' generous, please let me know and I'll put your name on my box. And by box, I mean my sub coffin. And there we are, right there. You stay forever on this. Thank you for the shout out for 7 of 7, guys. If you're watching over on the green side, please make sure to give him a follow. He's pretty awesome. Don't make sure to also follow my Coffee Chat of Horror channel, because soon, once I get 100 followers over on that channel, I'll have a custom URL, and that is where CCOH will be coming live from, strictly on Coffee Chat of Horrors once we hit that 100 follower. Hello, Roth. Oh, thanks for the gifted sub, Speedy. We don't have the Wheel of Terror on Coffee Chat of Horrors, unfortunately. It's not a part of Coffee Chat. I don't know why the commands are not working, because I don't think it's on. It's not on that channel. That's my CCOH channel. I'm pretty sure. I'm just going to try to find which channel the bot. There it goes. It's S, Deadwalk. It's S. S. Turn your head and cough in. Coffin. Coffin. Oh, okay. Hold on. This is my other tea. Oh, it's hot. Still friggin' piping hot. How you doing, Roth? Welcome in, guys. If this is your first time here for a Coffee Chat of Horrors, welcome in. Please ask questions, be a part of the conversation. You don't have to not ask questions. You're more than welcome to. I usually stop and ask questions as well to you guys, so I can find out where you all are on Rob Zombie. But welcome in. We spoke about him, production assistant on Pee-wee's Playhouse. He was also an art director for pornographic magazines Over 40 and Tales End. He also designed Universal's Halloween horror maze, believe it or not. And he did that back in 1999. He did a Universal Halloween Horror Night Maze. I really wish I was in the States so I could see these things, because you guys have some awesome shit in Universal, and I get super jealous. Super jealous. Sherry's moon zombie wears a headdress. Yes. Well, in this movie, she does. Yes. I'm shocked Fu didn't pop in. No, she will probably very soon, though. She might be hiding. She might be hiding. I'm going to try to pour my tea out now. It's not a great cup that I have here. I think Speedy will love my mug, this mug, though. I think quite a few people would love what is on this bad boy. But yeah. Anyways, he also composed the soundtrack to Twisted Metal 3. Did you guys know that as well? I have, Vanessa, I have. So he has done the soundtrack for Twisted Metal 3, and this is before he became a director. So you can see where his journey started when you can kind of see where he was when before he dived into directing films. He had a great creative mind for his music videos back in the day when music videos were a thing, which I totally miss. I miss what MTV really was, which was music videos all the time. All the time. I also miss VH1, which is their pop-up video. I love that shit. It was always good. Hi, Shield. It was always a good time. Always a good time. I got some coffee, but got to make a delivery to the Madre in a bit. Oh, nice. I love coffee. I'm drinking tea today. I'm drinking Tetley's English tea. It's a black tea. His trajectory followed Trent Reznor's arc very similar. But it's also very similar to quite a few others as well. It's weird how a lot of them have patterns, even non-musician, you know what I mean? Like Wes Craven, Lamberto Bava, etc. They all have a similar pattern style. Sam Raimi. I think Sam Raimi, we need to do a deep dive into Sam Raimi. 9 Inch Nails does rule. And Trent's got a crazy fucking creativity mind as well. Not even him, but even Danzig. Now that's a creative psycho. I like Danzig stuff though. Sherry Moon Zombie will play my character from my head in an adult cartoon. It's called Courage, the Cowardly Dog for Adults. Oh, very nice. Welcome back, Rise. Welcome back. So now we're on to Zombie's film journey. And do you know how hard it was for House of a Thousand Corpses to actually be made? His film directorial debut was House of a Thousand Corpses. That was his very first movie. We're not talking about, when I say movie, we're not talking about his music videos that he did. We're strictly talking about cinema. And this is his very first directorial debut and his very first film. And it was supposed to come out in the 2000s, but the studio canceled it because they thought it was extremely violent. So 3 years later, he ended up getting the rights to it and got it released. House of a Thousand Corpses is my favorite Rob Zombie film. Favorite Rob Zombie film ever. He's got quite a list of films, and some have their ups and some have their downs, and we'll get into that as well. But I'd like to know, what do you guys like in Rob Zombie's films? What is your favorite Rob Zombie film? He has House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, 3 from Hell, Halloween, Halloween 2, Lords of Salem, 31, El Super Bisto, which is an animated film. He's attached to the Blob remake, but he ended up backing out. He also has ties with making fake grindhouse trailers. We'll get into that as well, but I do want to know, what is your favorite Rob Zombie film? It's still MTV, but the M now stands for moronic. Yeah, it's still MTV, but I don't consider it MTV. It's just fucking reality bullshit. Reality shows killed the music videos, like that song. I do play instruments drawing. I play 3 instruments. I haven't in a long time, but I am able to play the violin, the fiddle, and the piano. Don't y'all like clowns? Ain't we fucking funny? He got rejected by everyone. He did. He got rejected by a lot of people. Hefty, because they found his film House of a Thousand Corpses disgusting. They found it too violent to be rated, and they didn't find it as it would be a moneymaker. And which is quite sad, because House of a Thousand Corpses is the perfect horror film. And the visuals in House of a Thousand Corpses are fucking supreme. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about House of a Thousand Corpses. Hello, Ghost Rider Hog. How are you? Video killed the radio star. Exactly. And reality TV killed the video. So you like House of a Thousand Corpses? Nice. You like Devil's Rejects? Wickedy's A House of a Thousand Corpses has the best intro. Motherfucker got blood all over my favorite clown suit. Yes. You'd have to say House of a Thousand Corpses. So a lot of people are saying House of a Thousand Corpses. What kind of sandwich are you about to order there, Rise? El Super Bisto and Total Drama got rejected by me. Not everybody liked El Super Bisto. Not everybody liked Devil's Rejects either. And a lot of people didn't like Lords of Salem, but I always thought Lords of Salem was Rob Zombie's Halloween 3. That is what I think. But I hope you're doing good. Now, in this time, like I said, House of a Thousand Corpses was delayed. By the time Rob Zombie got his actual film, he got the rights to it. So you got to remember, when you have a production company like Paramount or New Line Cinemas or et cetera, they kind of hold on to a lot of the things. But since they backed out and they were not going to produce it, Rob Zombie was able to get the rights to House of a Thousand Corpses. And it was released 3 years later. Now, in this time, he also married 10 days before his wedding date to his longtime girlfriend, Sherry Moon Zombie, which we all like Sherry Moon in his movies, but she doesn't need to be lead in everything. The pair decided to elope, getting married on Halloween 2002 after 9 years of being together. And this is the interim of his life in this filmmaking. Then we have 2003 House of a Thousand Corpses, which to me is his perfect movie. That is his perfect movie. None of his movies, in my opinion, have beat House of a Thousand Corpses. The cinematography, the colors, the grindhouse feel, the grittiness of it, the aerial view of the police officer on his knees and Otis Driftwood above him holding his gun to his forehead. That scene where the camera pulls away, obviously it's a drone or a guy on a lead, and it's looking down and it kind of freezes there. A lot of people thought their DVD was fucking broken when it came to that scene, because that was such an intense buildup. Like you think the cop is going to get shot right away, but he doesn't. It sits there and it waits, and then boom, and then the smoke from the bullet going out, just the cloud coming out of the skull of the cop in that aerial view. It just built up so much. The music was great. Everything was perfect in House of a Thousand Corpses, even down to the fact that there were no final people, which is my favorite. I love it when a film kills everybody off. I love it. It's my favorite. Rob Zombie is also kind of obsessed with Manson. Not Marilyn Manson. I have Marilyn Manson on the brain, but Manson. It is such a psychological buildup. You're not wrong. That scene was the master of tension. You are right, Golden. Fucking great. He was obsessed with Charles Manson as well, which you can see that in some of his in his movies. Yes, Charles Manson. I know we're talking about music, Hefty, and Marilyn Manson is one of my other favorites that does that whole horror aesthetic. But he was, you can see where Otis Driftwood, right? Can you put a correlation to Otis Driftwood and Manson? Otis was very preachy, right? Again, another parallel between him and Resna. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, he created Halloween, which was a remake of the original Halloween, 2007. And it was the biggest Labor Day box office opening. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are not fans of his Halloween remakes. However, I enjoyed the violence in both of his films, Halloween and Halloween 2. I did not care for the way the lifestyle he had, Michael, and the family. There was quite a few things I didn't like about it, but I still enjoyed how violent and gritty both films were. Now, Halloween came out in 2007, and then Halloween 2 came out in 2009. Everybody seems to hate 2009 Halloween 2. Hi, Kirby's. How are you? No worries. I appreciate you being here, even if you got to put a lurk in. I liked Joe Grizzly. I got a Taco Deluxe Supreme talking back at me, so I'm going to be a while. Oh, no. Wickety, wickety, wickety. Juju for you, my friend. You've never saw those remakes. I would suggest seeing them, Golden. Who doesn't love violence, right? The more death, the better. See, for me, the more blood, guts, and ass on the screen, the better the movie is. But I am a self-proclaimed gore whore. That's the kind of shit that I like. I love extreme films, and being able to have that visceral visuals on screen is just great. I think it's great, honestly. All right, now we get into Lords of Salem, that was released in 2012. Now, this film was definitely different. It was different from all of Rob Zombie's other films. And I like to say that this is Rob Zombie's Halloween 3, where, as we know in the Halloween chapters with John Carpenter, 3 was well into left field when it came to the Halloween franchise. What's going on? Oh, are you still having issues with Twitch chat? I'm sorry, Deadwalk. Yeah, I don't know what goes on with why their chat is so crappy. You love Sherry Moon Zombie? Nice. I think Sherry Moon can play a great psycho, but that's about it. I didn't care for her portrayal of Lily Munster. Not at all. I think there was other people that could have been better. I can't remember it. Oh, Lumia just fucking shows up. Yeah, I kind of see that there was an ad that it's going to hopefully end soon. Your stream is freezing. Oh. Interesting. Interesting drawing. I have no issues on my end. That's weird. Sorry that you're having some issues drawing. I don't know why. All my specs, my network, everything is beautiful. Oh, it might be fixed now? Okay. I thought you crashed there. Nope, there you are again. We were frozen on all platforms. Interesting. Because I use Twitch, it's Twitch. Are we back? Refresh. Yeah, we're back. Okay, so I'm gonna have to fix that. Hey, Zach, how you doing? How you doing, darling? The problem with Twitch is Twitch has been having a lot of issues. And when I multi-stream, Twitch is my main, right? So it's pulling the signal from Twitch. And it's dispersing them to YouTube, Rumble, and yeah, so that's why. Welcome back from that ad. Welcome back, Arthur. How was supper? Good evening, wonderful horseshoe. How are you? You're doing good. Awesome. Hopefully the stream is not having any more issues. It's weird because I show nothing wrong with my network. But again, we are streaming to Twitch and utilizing Twitch. Refresh, Vanessa. Yeah. Vanessa's still having issues over on YouTube, even though refreshing is going to help with YouTube. I think we'll end up switching and going to our main to Rumble and then pulling that connection. Twitch should be called Twerk, right? Twitch has a great name for itself, though. It's twitching, right? Twitch is twitching. But that's where I pull my main from, is Twitch, right? I only just started doing Rumble. But I think I'm actually going to change the mains around, make my main Rumble, and then pull that signal to Twitch. Because we've been having a lot of issues with Twitch lately. A ton of issues. My mods get disconnected from chat. The freezing of the video, which I show no issues with whatsoever. None. I show no issues. Everything is green. My bit rate is good. No drop frames. Everything is smooth on my side. And I get disconnected from my own Twitch chat where everything gets deleted so I can't see. So we have a lot of issues with Twitch lately. Now, the last year. I hope you're doing good. Wonderful. But yeah, so I think I'm going to have to do some changes from the scene. But anyways, welcome back. Lords of Salem came out in 2012. And like I said, I believe this is Rob Zombie's Halloween Season of the Witch, which is number 3 in the chapter. This is definitely different from the original zombie films, but you can see where he's been inspired from the Munsters and the Addams Family and other horror inspirations. Now, he also came out, which I found 31 to be his most lazy film. 31 came out in 2016. And like I said, for me, I find this film to be his laziest film. I think 31 could have been something more. But yeah, I don't know. I know not a lot of people liked it either. I was one of those people. And then later on, we have an animated series called El Super Beasto. And then Rob Zombie's also attached to the remake of The Blob, but then he backed out of it. Not 100% sure on why he backed out of that. You don't think you've seen 31? I'll tell you to watch 31. I don't think it's the best film, but it's worth a watch. Yeah, 31 was the weakest film for sure. I think that's where he got lazy. I don't know what happened, to be honest with you, but 31, I was watching it and like, what the fuck? Right? Like, that was my WTF moment with, I just got a message, an error message on Twitch. That's why. You're watching 31 for completion. I honestly didn't care for 31. When I think of twitching, I think of that Tool video where the claymation guy, his arms are spazzing out. Twitch is having the problem. I just looked over to my dashboard. Twitch is having the problem. Yeah, I didn't care for 31. I thought it was lazy. Anyways, let's roll on. He directed a Woolite commercial. You guys know what Woolite is? They got 11 on Twitch. Oh, I don't care, Don, how many people are watching on any platform. I don't care about my view count. My view count doesn't validate who or my content is. I can have 2 people watching, and like I said again, I don't validate my success on my view count. It's the community that we have built together. I personally don't care. And I never have my view count shown. Woolite. Yeah, he directed a Woolite commercial. He probably backed out of the Blob because they didn't let Sherry be the female lead. And you're not wrong, Zach. I could definitely see that. The original Blob was released in the 50s. Yes, Vanessa, I did a deep dive on both the original Blob and the remake of the Blob. If you want to check that out, you can check it out on my Coffee Chat of Horrors playlist over on YouTube. There is a lot of movies that I have deep dived, especially classics like The Tingler. One of my favorite directors, William Castle. We did a deep dive on William as well. Yeah, what's Woolite? Woolite is does Woolite even exist anymore? Like, is that, hold on, let's see if it exists. It does. Okay, so Woolite is a laundry detergent there, Sagara. It still exists. We don't have that here in Canada, so. But Woolite is, it's a laundry soap. It's a laundry detergent for cleaning clothes. Yes. That is what Woolite is. But honestly, we don't have that here. Did Sherry dress as Lily Munster on the Living Dead Girl video? I'm not too sure, Vanessa, but she played Lily Munster in Rob Zombie's remake of The Munsters. And they're still going, by the way. Woolite is still going. But he directed a Woolite. He is also a huge horror fan and collector. He has a massive collection. and get kind of jealous. But he's got tons of money to buy all that happy horse shit. But it's pretty cool to see. Definitely pretty cool to see. He does have pictures on social media that he has shown off of portions of his collection. She would have made a better Marilyn. She would have made a better Marilyn. 100% Deadwalk. He has been influenced a lot in his film creation in the 1930s and 1940s horror exploitation as well as grindhouse. And you can definitely see the grindhouse in House of a Thousand Corpses, which, like I said, I loved. I think it's his perfect film. I think it is his perfect film. And how he, definitely, and how he created it. Everything about it was perfect. Did you guys know that Rob Zombie lent his voice to an episode of Spider-Man, the new animated series in the Justice League Unlimited? He also provided the voice of the Ravager Navigator system in Guardians of the Galaxy, which I had no idea, and because I didn't deep dive Guardians of the Galaxy. However, reading about him and searching the internet and listening to different interviews that he did with magazines, I found out that he did some voiceovers and shit. You didn't know any of that. Neither did I. I had no idea that he provided the voiceover for the Ravager Navigator system, nor did I know anything about the animated series that he did with his voiceovers as well, Spider-Man and Justice League Unlimited. Yeah, right? It's pretty interesting shit. I claim DC is better than Marvel. Oh, you claim DC is better than Marvel. I don't know. I'm not a comic book fan that deep into comic books. I like horror, so I do a lot of horror comic books like Elvira, Army of Darkness, Dexter, Hatchet. Rob Zombie did plan to release a film called Tyrannosaurus Rex in 2009, but the project was dropped so he could work on the sequel to Halloween. I think that's funny. Tiffany, what is that? What is that comedy, horror comedy? Oh, I can't think of it with the Tyrannosaurus Rex. It was in a video game as well. They added it to a video game, High on Life. Tiffany. Shit balls. I can't think of it now. Tammy and the Tracks. That's it, Hefty. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, in 2011, he did a horror-themed wool light commercial, most likely for Halloween. That one was in 2011. I wonder if we can still find it. Now, in 2012, Rob was attached to a film called The Broad Street Bullies, which was about 1970s Philadelphia flyers. It would have been his first non-horror film, but it has since been put on hold. So in 2012, he would have been a part of a non-horror film for the first time, because all of his films are horror related. No such thing as horror comedies, in my opinion. You can have comedy with a horror backdrop or a spoof. Well, see, that's where I would debate with you, Drawing, because there are horror comedies like Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, Shaun of the Dead. They're horror movies at the base with comedic values in it throughout the visuals and the commentary. And then Cemetery Man. Then you can have films that are more goofy, like Scary Movies, technically a comedy and a horror mushed together. Then we also have Saturday the 14th, and then we have movies like House, or even Dead Alive, that is a horror movie with comedy elements in it. It's fucking hilarious. Velocipaster, oh my god, Velocipaster is on Tubi if you want to watch it as well, if you haven't seen it. I agree with you, Drawing. It is super hard to pull off a good horror comedy. There are not many horror comedies that are amazing. And yeah, he should have diversified, but he did. He has a lot of diversity in his background when it comes to Woolite commercials, Pee-wee's Playhouse, you know. Sorry to hear you're mad. Oh, Mad Magazines. Yeah, that sucks, Vanessa. I have. Yes, it's never too late to rebuy. No, it's never too late to rebuy them. But that sucks that they got ruined. But yeah, horror comedy, I would agree with you, it's hard to pull off, but it's done right. Look at Cabin in the Woods, horror based with comedic values. We have Blood-Sucking Bastards, which is a vampire movie with comedic attributes to it, which is fucking great. If you haven't seen Blood-Sucking Vampires, I did a CCOH on it last season. I highly recommend it. Ghostbusters, yeah. Paranormal movie with comedy aspects. I mean, Saturday the 14th was kind of you know what I mean? There are a lot of like in the middle horror comedies. So I would agree with you there, Drawing 100% on that. Let's see. Zombie was inspired by exploitation cinema, Universal Monsters and Alice Cooper, which we spoke about earlier today, which gives you an array of different chaotic scenes when you're honest about it, when you think about it. Exploitation cinema was a huge thing, and it's still a huge thing. It was really big in the 70s. Even when blaxploitation films came onto the scene, and there's tons of blaxploitation films out there, which I would recommend if you haven't seen a black exploitation film, go and check them out. Blackula is one of them, which is really a good movie. Thank you, Deadwalk. I was just thinking about The Cabin in the Woods. I don't know how I would define it. It's a horror sci-fi technically, because it's a horror monster movie too. So I wouldn't overly try to wrap my head around what genre it sits in. It's a horror. It sits under the horror genre, but it could be labeled as a monster movie. It could be labeled as a sci-fi because of some of the sci-fi elements, and a comedy all wrapped into one. I have seen the movie Weapons. It's overrated. Let's see here. Bum, 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 bum. The first album bought by Rob Zombie was Alice Cooper's LP, and the first record he ever owned was a 7-inch of the Jackson 5's Dancing Machine, that he bought while he was in kindergarten and played it over and over and over. So you can kind of see where his creativity came from. Alice Cooper, the monster movies, exploitation films, and you can definitely see that in his very first film, which again, like I said, I think is his most perfect film. What do we got here? Some of his favorite movies are Audition from 1999, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original Nosferatu, and the original Freaks movie. These were some of his favorite films growing up. All are great movies. If you haven't seen Audition, it's pretty graphic. It's great. I did a deep dive on Audition as well. If you want to check that out, it's on YouTube. The man definitely has taste, 100%. Hi, Trini. How are you? He really does get all of those influences in his films. You can see it in all of his films, but I think you can really see it in House of a Thousand Corpses. Oh, that's great. I'm glad you're doing good. People either love or hate his films. That's what I found. People will either love his films or super hate them. I personally love his filmmaking, and I know others, like Serial Killer, who hates his filmmaking, especially his Halloween chapters. He really puts everything, he did. I think he put everything that inspired him in House of a Thousand Corpses, but I think that's why it's also perfect. Did he, as in Rob Zombie, when he was a child, was he in mainstream public school? Yes. Was he tutored like as in homeschooled? No, because he grew up in a carnival. I'm just curious as to how that worked out. Public school, but you also have to remember public school in the 70s. He was born in the 60s, mid 60s, right? So in the 70s, with school, and it probably was a hell of a lot different than it is now in the public school system. And he did work at the carnival when he was of age. I love Rob Zombie movies a lot. Nice, Trini. We do have an ad break that is beginning, guys. I like them, but for the budgets he had, a lot of other producers and directors would have made better use of, yes, Hefty. And that's where I think in 31, it felt lazy, but I would agree with you. He's had big budgets. It is squirrel time. It is squirrel time. I still see Twitch is still having issues. So Twitch is having issues with their ingest. That's the problem. I figured I'll let you know in case anyone else is having some problems. That is the issue right now, is that there are ingest issues over there. Unfortunately, which is weird. Which is super weird. But once we're back from the ad, we're gonna talk about a couple of things of the fictitious trailers that he had created, which you'll see was inspired by an exploitation film of his, one of his favorite exploitation films. So we'll deep dive into that one here in just a moment. Twitch is giving us indigestion, yeah, unfortunately. So I do apologize. Maybe I'll remove CCOH from Twitch. I don't know. Right. After I get mad about whatever happens to streaming canceled because it's frozen or whatnot. Yeah, I have no control over Twitch's ingests and the lack of stability Twitch has had this last year, since we've known that Twitch has had a lot of issues getting rid of ingests from Texas, getting rid of ingests in other areas, which now compile more people, more streamers on one ingest. Also, he isn't as in the horror community as other directors. He kind of just drops a movie and dips. Yeah, Hefty. I think he just likes playing with it. Do you know what I mean? I think he likes playing with horror as a horror fan. Welcome back from that ad, guys. Welcome back. So, remember I told you that he enjoys exploitation films? One of the exploitation films that inspired him to do exploitation grindhouse fake trailers is the She-Wolf of the SS from 1975. So Grindhouse was a movie, and he created a fake trailer called Werewolf Women of the SS, which was highly, highly inspired by She-Wolf. If you haven't seen She-Wolf of the SS, I'm going to tell you to go and watch it. It is from 1975. It is not a Rob Zombie film, obviously. It is an exploitation film, and it's decent if you haven't seen it. Hello, Darkbreaker. How are you? GDT is actively teaching and promoting business adjacent. Oh, I've never seen that movie. I would definitely check it out. It's from 1975, so please don't expect a fuck ton from it. If you go and watch it, let me know. I'd like to know what you thought of it. But you can definitely see in the Grindhouse movie that was done that he created that Werewolf Woman of the SS. You can also see that exploitation in a lot of his films, the Grindhouse style and feel. I think he lessened up on that Grindhouse style a little bit, but still kept it gritty in Devil's Rejects. I'm glad you're doing good, Darkbreaker. Welcome in. Also, Hillbilly Deluxe 2, which was not too bad. He also, in 2011, which we already spoke about, was the Woolite commercial. Lords of Salem, again, that was more focused on building suspense and nightmarish, surreal atmospheres. Like I said, I thought that was his third Halloween 3-esque, you know? He prefers directing to acting. He tries to avoid cameos. You don't really ever see him in his own movies. Whereas like Alfred Hitchcock, hello, Mr. Rippers, how are you? You see like Alfred Hitchcock, William Castle, they're directors. Stephen King's not fully a director, but he's a writer. You see him make cameos. But he prefers the directing role over acting, which we can see that he puts his wife in everything. He doesn't drink or do drugs. He's also a vegan and an animal rights activist, which he's a big animal rights activist, which is quite cool. Did you know that he drew the hallucination scene in Beavis and Butthead Do America in 1996? Hello, Abner. How are you? How are you doing? They're both vegan. Yes. Yes, they are. Doing pretty good. We're doing Coffee Chat of Horrors, deep dive into Rob Zombie. Darkbreaker, thank you for the 20 stream streak. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we are doing an episode of Rob Zombie. We have been discussing directors here on Coffee Chat of Horrors. I hope he isn't one of those crazy vegans. Probably not, but he does keep a lot of his stuff private and behind the scenes. He is not a person that likes his business aired to the masses. So, well, if he was Speedy, then you would see different things in his movies. But you're doing good. You're hanging in there. That's great, Abner. I'm glad you're doing good. I hope you're doing well, Mr. Ripper, as well. If this is your first time here for a Coffee Chat of Horrors, we deep dive horror movies and directors that create them. And today we're discussing Rob Zombie in depth. If you've missed any of CCOH, you can go back into my VODs and check them out. And if you're on YouTube, you can check out the entire 91 video playlist. I do have some CCOHs missing because we've been doing this for 8 years. But yes, who has seen the Beavis and Butthead Do America in 1996? Oh, well, Abner, thank you so very much. Thank you for the repost and the like. I appreciate it. Johnny S3, thank you for the sub over on YouTube. Welcome. Yeah, so Beavis and Butthead Do America, he drew the hallucination scene for it. He stated that one of his favorite movies is Audition from 1999, and he says it was the most creepy and unsettling horror movie he has ever seen. And quite a few directors, because we deep dove into Audition from 1999, and quite a few directors were saying that Audition is creepy and very unsettling, and I'd have to agree. 1996, no, that's not that long ago. No. But if you haven't seen a Beavis and Butthead Do America, I'm going to say watch it, but if you don't know who Beavis and Butthead is, I'm going to say Google. Now, although his own movies tend to be very violent, he is a bigger fan of the horror films from the 1930s and the 1940s. And if you know anything about 1930 and 1940 films, violence was not a thing. It wasn't as huge and as graphic as you would see in movies nowadays or in zombies films. You actually don't even really see blood because a lot of those films were in black and white, and any blood that was created, they used Bosco's chocolate syrup. Yeah, especially in Romero's Night of the Living Dead was Bosco's chocolate syrup. I deep dove Night of the Living Dead on Coffee Chat of Horrors once. One of my favorite movies. I'm such a fan of Friday the 13th. I love my slashers. Friday the 13th is my numero uno. I love Friday the 13th. It's my favorite franchise ever. Jason Voorhees is the fucking man. Vampire is pretty good. Nice. You love Korean and Japanese films. They're great. J-horror is crazy. We did an entire month of Japanese horror. Hi, buddy. Hi. Yes, hi. You saying hello to everybody? Come on. As he pushes me off. No, I'm not leaving yet. Oh, okay. Anyways. Oh, Abner, if you like Friday the 13th, you may like this. Another squirrel moment. But don't you even think about it. Look at Loki. This is Jason Voorhees. That is a part 3 Jason Voorhees. Shallow Graves FX was the creator of that hawk right there. Yeah, he is like time to go, mom, 12 minutes. We're going to go a little bit further than that, unfortunately. Rob Zombie is a huge fan of the animated sitcom Bob's Burgers in 2011, and he has a 12-foot stuffed bear in his living room, along with a sarcophagus, an enormous Boris Karloff poster, a green scaly creature from the Black Lagoon from 1954, a real baby bats which have been mounted and framed, which I think is pretty cool. I love that mask. It's my favorite hawk. My God, that's so cool. I want it. Yeah, I love that hawk. I'm a big mask collector. You really can't see most of them. Zombie, 43-month resub love. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you, Zombie. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But thank you, Abner. I have a big horror collection, and I'm a big fan of masks. So I do have quite a few masks. Most of them are put away because I just don't have the space anymore since we moved. I need to buy 2 bookshelves, but that's down the road. Hello, Moon over Miami. How are you? Okay, so let's get on with this because CCOH is going to end soon. He has sold over 15 million albums sold. His films have grossed over 150 million combined. One of the very few directors blending heavy metal, grindhouse, carnival-esque horror, and 1930s monster nostalgia, which we've seen in his films, especially House of a Thousand Corpse, guys. You still have 2 beans to eat as well? Okay. Can I save them for Monday? Can I save them for Monday, Speedy? Just so we have the time to do them? Unless you want me to pop them both at once, which is fine. I can do it when our credits are rolling. Just remind me, and I'll wait for you to be in the stream. So for those of you that don't know, every 10 subs, regardless of platform, whether you're watching me on Rumble or on Twitch, YouTube's a little bit different because they have memberships, but every 10 any 10 gift subs, whether they're gifted or done, I have to eat a nasty friggin' bean, and they're gross. And Speedy Misha over on Twitch dropped 20 gifted subs right off the fucking bat, so that means 2 beans back to back. Yeah, you see my dog, he always comes in here and does his thing, messes around with Paul, gets smacked like a bitch by Paul, cries, and then runs off. Whether you loved or hated Zombie, he is undeniably important to horror history. And he really is important to horror history. He's one of the very few directors, like I said earlier, that brings heavy metal and grindhouse. Heavy metal films, horror movies, there's not a lot of them out there. And when you might be asking yourself, what the fuck is a heavy metal horror movie? I'll tell you. Trick or Treat from the 80s, Studio 666, Deathgasm, The Gate. These all have horror and heavy metal music involved. There are quite a few other metal horror movies out there that mix in horror, heavy metal into it. We'll get into that into another video. Night of the Living Dead, one of the best horror films. The word zombie never used. No, they're ghouls, right? Romero never used the term zombie. But he is the godfather of zombies. I love cats too. I have 2 cats now and a dog. Demon Knight is great. He is undeniable, and he has brought important stuff to the horror genre. I do want to do our ending outro for YouTube. No. I do want to do our horror our outro for YouTube. We're not technically leaving just yet, but it's just my outro for YouTube. Thank you guys for joining me on Coffee Chat of Horrors. Today's deep dive into the chaotic, creepy, and carnival steeped Rob Zombie. Whether you loved him, hate him, or land him somewhere in between, his impact on the horror genre is impossible to deny. If you enjoyed this episode of Coffee Chat of Horrors, make sure to hit that like button. Drop your thoughts below in the comments, whether you're watching me on Rumble or YouTube. Tell me what is your favorite Rob Zombie film, your favorite album, or just a fun fact for the Horde, because I greatly appreciate it. Next Sunday, we return with another legendary deep dive into George A. Romero, the godfather of zombies. You do not want to miss that one. Until then, stay creepy, stay spooky, and remember, horror is great. Keep screaming. All right, that's the ending of my outro. I think what you're saying is correct, but I also have the opinion that if he wasn't famous already, he wouldn't have been significant or gotten famous from his films. I think he would have been known for his films, though, Hefty, even if he wasn't already famous. And Rob Zombie died off in the background after White Zombie, and even his own music. Yeah, okay, he was a musician. Do I think that being a musician has helped him in his career? Possibly. But I think in his own right, Zombie would have been known. Yeah, sorry. He's a big boy bark because he was afraid of the fucking... He was afraid of my phone holder for when I do videos on my phone. He was afraid of this because it has my horror hat on it. This is what he was barking at because it was sitting here and he is not used to seeing that. And he fucking barked at it like it was coming at him to kill him. I do believe Zombie would have been recognized and noticed, just like Frank Henenlotter. Just like everybody else. I mean, look at Dave Grohl. He had a movie called Studio 666, and Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters are pretty fucking popular. Not everybody knows that he had a movie. Not everybody is aware of Studio 666, which is fucking legendary. I think it's a great film. Love the practical effects in Studio 666. He did kind of fade off for a bit, yeah. You should do a coffee chat on Power Man 5000 or Spider, as he's known. Yeah, that's Rob Zombie's brother, David. I don't really do music. I don't really deep dive music. It's more of the reason why we had music in this one was because of Rob Zombie. When we do John Carpenter is also a musician and created a lot of music for his own movies and has a friggin' band, and had a band. So we'll talk again about movies and horror, and music when we do our John Carpenter, which is not this Sunday, but the Sunday after. Who are the Foo Fighters? Have you saw it Doghouse film? I'm not sure what that is, Don. Studio 666 was so much fun. Yeah, Studio 666 is a great movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a Foo Fighter Dave Grohl film, horror movie. And the practical effects are fucking sweet. Like, great practical effects, man. Just all around amazing. All right, let's go into our just chatting scene here quickly. Yeah, Don, I'm not too sure. So tomorrow, guys, I will be live tomorrow. We will be live on Twitch at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. It's a multi-stream day. It's also our story mode day. We'll be diving back into House of Ashes, which is a dark picture anthology story game. But we will be live on all three platforms again on Monday. Monday morning, however, there may be a special Rumble premium stream. If you're interested in that over on Rumble, will probably be around 11 o'clock in the morning on my time, 11 a.m. Mountain Time. This week's games are, let's see, 2v8 ends on the 25th. So be prepared to see some more Dead by Daylight, even if it 2v8 is gone. But we'll be having some more fun horror games this week. Studio 666 is on Tubi if you want to watch it. That it is in both Canada and the United States. Yes. The Foo Fighters, you don't have to be a fan of the Foo Fighters to see Studio 666. Trust me, you don't. You if you haven't seen it, you need to go and see it. What a lovely accent it was to find you. Oh, Hefty, that is so very nice of you. Thanks for streaming, and thank you, Mysterious Stranger, for the gifted sub. You're quite welcome, and it was a pleasure chatting with you, Hefty. I do appreciate it. We do have an ad that's going to be happening. Can we snooze this ad so we can... Oh, has it begun? We can't snooze it, hey? I don't think we can. I didn't get a notification for it. Twitch and your twitchy ways. I don't know why we didn't get a... I don't know why we didn't get notified of it. Because we should have been notified. It's not giving you snoozes. It hasn't. It hasn't given you snoozes at all? Like it hasn't come. I don't stream through the dashboard. I pop out chat, so I don't get to see them unless the bot posts it. Yeah, Studio 666, great movie. Interesting Dead Walk. I'm gonna have to check it out. We're supposed to do House of Ashes tomorrow, unless you guys want Dead by Daylight. Basement Cat's like, I want Dead by Daylight. Do you guys want story mode game? Or do you want me to save that for Wednesday? Let me know. Because, yeah, 2v8 ends on the 25th of this month, guys. All right, we're going to go into our credit side of things. Nice evil, Hefty. Nice evil. Whichever. So I stream Monday through Friday on Twitch. My schedule for Twitch is Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, and on Sundays for Coffee Chat of Horrors at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. I do stream on other platforms on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but I do multi-stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So you'll always have a Twitch stream. And if you want to catch me anywhere else, exclamation point socials in the chat will give you everywhere that I stream or everywhere you can find me. You should be able to find me everywhere as ReAnimateHer. Welcome back from that ad. And now, the purple side is really struggling. Are you having issues with the purple side? Sorry, guys. I have no control over Twitch. Thank you so very much for coming over and hanging out with me on your Sunday, no matter where you watched me from, whether it was Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. I do appreciate it. Remember, if you're watching me on YouTube or Rumble, you can comment your favorite zombie film. Next Sunday, we're going to be discussing George A. Romero. In the Discord Saturday night, we will be watching a George A. Romero film. We'll take a vote on it in the Slay MC channel section of Discord on what film you would love to see from George A. Romero. He's got a ton of films, amazing films. So we'll vote on it together on what we want to watch Saturday night. If you're not in the Discord, you're more than welcome to join. We do host movie night every Saturday night, and Darkbreaker hosts movie day every Sunday. And we do play games inside the Discord. Thank you all so very much for giving me your most precious commodity, and that is your time. Love your guts as well, Speedy. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. I do greatly appreciate your generosity to this channel and the support. I am grateful for everybody's support, whether you support me financially on this platform or any platform, or you just come and lurk or chat. I'm super grateful for all of it because I'm not entitled to any of it. I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Stay tuned for special schedule streams if you watch me on Rumble and possibly YouTube. We'll see. I love your guts. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Mwah. And I will slash yous all later. Bye.